What is up, guys? It's the Brickto here, and today I was just browsing through Brickset here and looking at some pretty interesting articles that they came out with. One of them that caught my eye was the interview with the Star Wars designers for the 501st quote unquote battle pack that's going to be coming out. And so, usually with these Lego interviews, they sort of asked a lot of the standard questions about inspiration to design this set and whatnot. But this one sort of took a different direction. What do you think about this, K Bricks?
Yeah, this one was a little more in depth of the process of them seeing the fan requests for the battle pack, and then also later in the interview they talked a little bit more about the way battle packs have kind of transformed into more of a less of an army building feature and more of a small set to get desirable figures. And I found that part really interesting. What were some of the interesting questions you found?
Well, I guess just right off the bat here, they were sort of trying to hint at the fact, how did you guys come up with creating this set? And they admitted, the designers, right away, that this is from the fan request. And no surprise here, but I know there was a little bit of controversy. I think, of people, deciding on maybe who should get credit for making this set happen. I think, in general, we should just be happy as a Lego community that we're going to be getting this and not really try and point fingers or whatnot. But yeah, pretty interesting. And then another follow-up questions. They asked if they had any concerns that this successful campaign may inspire more disruptive campaigns for Lego to produce certain sets in the future. So I thought this was really interesting. This sort of caught my eye. They used the words disruptive campaigns to sort of, maybe pose this question in a different manner to get some insightful responses. But they just sort of said no, not really at all. They kind of liked people coming out and saying they wanted this set, and they wanted to do their best to obviously satisfy the Star Wars collectors, but they have to create certain sets for new fans and depending on what movies are coming out. So that's why it probably took a while for them to release a set.
Certainly, too. This one made me think of. I know they said that they were super happy to have all the support, even though they kind of just swarmed their Twitter page, and they didn't quote say that or anything, but that did happen on Twitter. You have to also remember they're also in this interview for a PR move for the set releasing in August, so I'm sure there was a little bit of a problem just on Twitter in general because there was just flooded. Their Twitter comments were just flooded with 501st Battle Pack, which isn't a bad thing. They gave us what we wanted, but like I said, this is definitely part of a PR move too. That I'm sure they enjoy the fan support, but I think also it was more of the AFOLs taking over on that Twitter page.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to look at this with the two cents, obviously, just and realizing that this is mainly just for marketing purposes. It's a good point. I guess one thing I would like to say is that um, I would say it's I don't think they really look at their Instagram account and at all the comments and really find it disruptive. There's probably definitely a marketing person who does all the posts and everything like that. And I'm sure they may probably got pretty tired about looking through each of their posts. But I would say just as the company as a whole, and as far as the people deciding what sets to produce, I'm sure they were told about the large amount of support. But I don't know if them, um, the company as a whole probably did not feel this pressure. I would say it's probably a few people who were sort of running the accounts that probably got a little
Mm-hmm.
tired of everybody requesting
Mm-hmm.
it. But
You have to remember too, even if it's a little controversial, it's still advertisement for Lego. These
yeah,
tweets were getting more likes, blowing up a little bit more. So that's right. They probably really weren't that angry about it or angry about it at all, to be honest.
yeah, I'm like, for us personally, I would say that for me at least, I don't I'm totally cool with fans saying what they want. I agree, it might have been a little bit might have been a bit much, I would say, in the comment sections, but it's not. I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? So as far as that goes, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. And if people want certain sets and they're gonna do the work to try and get the people behind it, I'm totally cool for that. And then we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but they asked about why they chose to make it bigger than the standard battle pack size, and essentially K-Brix alluded to this, but they wanted to include more than just four figures. They wanted to include the jet trooper and also the battle droids. And then also they said they couldn't really figure out how to make any vehicle any one vehicle look good enough for this set to just make it a $15 battle pack for them. They said if they did, $30, we could have more figures, and then additionally have a bigger actual walker, and then as well as a speeder bike too. So
I also found it interesting. They said they wanted to add that the Jet Trooper into the battle pack, and obviously the Jet Trooper did appear in season seven of the Clone Wars. I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard that the Jet Trooper is in season 7 of the Clone Wars. But I think people would have been more happy with just 4 regular 501st Clone
mhm.
Troopers, but they also have to not only appeal to just the AFOLs that are looking, or even just army builders in general, but they also have to appeal to people that are just looking to buy the
Yeah.
set too. And someone that's not an army builder is looking to buy the set. I'm glad that there's the Jet Trooper in. Just two sides of the coin.
Yeah, and their point about they wanted to include battle droids. My opinion is like just throw those out of the set, but and make it cheaper. But I mean, like that's just my opinion, just based on what
Mm,
figures I would want at this
yeah,
point. But it's also kind of funny. They said they thought 4 identical troopers might have not proven to be interesting, and I guess from this perspective, they're probably looking at it from people who are just walking up and down the shelves of the Lego store, looking at sets to get. And from a parent's perspective, or maybe just from a kid's perspective, who's just looking at it, doesn't really know anything about 501st Troopers or the Clone Wars. They probably are looking for a bit more variety. So I think just some good insight into this interview. Any other thoughts from you, K Brooks?
yeah. Well, this last question they went ahead and talked about in the beginning. Battle packs were really focused on army building. Is that still the intent? We've seen Lego stray away from that a little bit and feature more main characters, and they were honest about it. You know, a lot of times the battle packs do contain more main characters now, but they'll still have one or two, or maybe even three, right, of an army building character, but it won't all be an army building character. And they even pointed out that they've seen both of them be really successful, but they even specified the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack was very successful, and both kind of sets have done well. I think more recently they've been doing the main characters too, because someone that isn't into army building, such as myself or you, it's nice to get main characters in the battle pack too. For instance, I do have the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike, and I don't need 4 of the same bounty hunters for a bounty hunter army or anything like that. So I'm all right with their decision on that. But I really enjoyed this interview. I think these little insights like this are really
Mm-hmm.
interesting, especially for this set that was just a a voted project almost on Twitter. Not voted, but very much requested. And I like the questions they went ahead and asked them. They're definitely, they didn't stray away from disruptive campaigns. They went ahead and asked about I'm not really didn't really say it, but battle packs have strayed away a little bit from what they used to be. Overall, I thought it was an awesome interview conducted by Brickset.
Yeah, that was just my big takeaway too. Is great interview, great questions to be asked, and just really insightful. Honestly, just from a fan's perspective to hear some of these answers. All right, guys, thanks for listening. This is Brick Duo signing off.